Hi, welcome to this session of Building a World-Class Shopping Experience. My name is Sameer Dhingra, and I'm the Director of Retail and Consumer for Google Cloud Asia Pacific and Japan, and I will be your host and facilitator today. Let's start with what's happening in the world of retail in Korea and in general. The last couple of years have truly been transformational for retail, and you all have experiences in your respective shopping behaviors as well. Retailers are now at the forefront of this change, and they have to do everything themselves better, faster, more efficient, and now more digitally integrated. Now, as we see this change happening, we are also beginning to now see a few consumer trends. And at the same time, the acceleration in cloud and technologies is also impacting and driving a transformational change. Let's start with what's happening in the world of consumers and shoppers. Well, the most important thing that you see now is the acceleration of digital shopping. It is everywhere. And I think coupled to that is the fact that now the expectation for this is to have a very seamless experience, a unique experience for the consumers. Shoppers, on the other hand, are now getting very comfortable in the virtual world, and they expect the brands to be present and meet them there where they are. This has a significant implication on how the technology has to drive the retail business models. I think last but not the least, we are also now seeing a much more aware consumer, a much more enlightened customer who wants to know more about sustainability, who wants to know where your products are coming from, and who is more conscious about what they're buying today. As I said, cloud, on the other hand, is really triggering a lot of other transformational opportunities in the market. The first one, and one of the most important ones, is how do you monetize your data? So harnessing the power of first-party data, there's a lot of work which is now beginning to happen there because this is the foundational backbone of the innovation engine in majority of the organizations. Building new revenue streams at scale is a key concern. At the same time, from supply chain perspective, now we are beginning to see retailers getting more and more engaged and getting a far more degree of control with respect to their supply chain and inventory optimization. And last but not the least, when you look at store modernization, I think there is a lot of activity happening there in terms of transforming the store environments so that retailers are now able to offer the kind of experiences which the shoppers are expecting from them. So there is actually a race to become more digitally resilient. It is no longer an option. We actually do a survey every year, and we do a study where we look at the digital maturity of retailers across various regions and subsegments. And what you see here is the retail digital pulse for South Korean retail ecosystem. As a market, South Korean retail market is quite advanced and is at the cusp of becoming a digitally aspirant, which is stage 3. But majority of the retail organizations are still in stage 1 and stage 2, although you see a significant number now in stage 3, which is a very, very positive sign. I look at this as a huge opportunity and a potential to accelerate the digital resilience within the ecosystem. When you look at the top drivers to digitize, I think what comes out forefront is the need and the importance to improve the customer experience to drive and improve your revenue and KPIs. Of course, reducing cost and increasing profitability is also one of the key drivers that we are seeing in the Korean market. From a challenges perspective, as you can see, I think the technologies are already there, but it is the lack of proper digital transformation roadmaps, and also the inability to get the operational and customer data to be able to build a system of insight remains a key challenge for majority of the retailers that we engage and we find in the market. We also looked at some of the innovation themes and prospective use cases over the next 12 months. So where is the innovation hotspot? And as you will see in the market, customer retention, acquisition are some of the key areas where we are finding a lot of work happening for retailers. Of course, building omnichannel commerce platforms and also improving your assortments and merchandising and distribution capabilities remain high on the agenda. And this then translates into multiple use cases that we are beginning to see, right from customer experience analytics to demand forecasting to assortment optimization. But I think the first and the foremost, which is on the top of the mind for every retailer that we engage, is to build mobile commerce platforms to be able to then have the shopping prerogatives and the engagements with their consumers at the click of the button in the palm of their hands. So how do we help as Google? Well, our mission is to really transform every retail company into a tech company. And we do that in 4 ways. First, helping our customers to become more data-driven, helping them to really monetize their data that they're generating in their ecosystem. Helping them to build their digital commerce platforms is the number 2. We work very closely with our retailers to modernize their store infrastructure, to really build and help them execute the store transformation strategy. And last but not the least is all about building and enabling sustainable and efficient operations within the retail environment, right from the infrastructure to building resilient supply chains. So what I will do now is to give you a very quick view on each of these areas, starting from how do we then help our customers to build digital commerce platforms to be able to harness this growth which is happening in the market. And I think this is about whether you have already built or not built. If you haven't built, then we can help you build and modernize your e-commerce infrastructure. But if you have already built those platforms, then it is all about putting those experiences that their shoppers are looking for, starting from product discovery across channels, so retail search, recommendation engines, visual search, building conversational commerce capabilities, and of course, if you have your omnichannel digital platform, then how do you scale it in peak season, and how do you manage those highs and lows and keep it as a stable platform? It becomes a key to success. And we do this quite well because we can basically help you connect with consumers at every touch point. And as you can see, the shopper journey, purchase journeys are no longer linear. It is now really a complex web of multiple interactions at different touch points. And across the Alphabet portfolio, we have something or the other to offer for our customers, our shoppers at each of these points of engagement. I'll give you a few examples in the next couple of slides. Let's look at customer experience. So right from personalization and building a recommendation engine on your mobile platforms, helping your shoppers to engage with you and converse with you. So conversational commerce is very, very key, or a key use case which is coming up very strongly as the technology is becoming more efficient. And of course, bridging the gaps between your offline store experiences and contextual personalization on your online platforms. There's a lot of work which is happening on the future of commerce. So you're now beginning to see live commerce, social commerce capabilities, video action campaigns, which are now becoming very, very popular as you build your shopping experiences for your consumers. So if you were to look at a customer journey, right from product discovery to getting your shoppers onto your platforms, once they're on your platforms, then really building a personalized engagement capability for them to get a curated assortments to their liking, building conversational or other language and visual commerce capabilities for them to have a good shopping experience, fulfillment, last mile fulfillment, automated inventory management, and so on and so forth. And I think the post fulfillment engagement. So you can truly begin to now look at connecting the various touch points to build a unified shopping experience. And there are multiple use cases that you can bring in your capability spectrum to be able to drive this acceleration. Let's now move on to onto the capability and ability to become more data driven. And data is truly at the center of the transformation. And you could potentially look at it in a couple of blocks. First, obviously, is consolidating the multiple silos in the organization. So how do you really build your data platform and capability so that you can bring in the data to form a unified customer data platform or a unified retail data model? This then becomes the basis for your ability to make real-time decision making, to be able to proactively engage with your shoppers and respond quickly to the market trends. As you can see here, we work very closely with our retailers to bring these multiple sources of information and data from your first party and third party sources to then build these common data platforms for you to move forward. The vision for us and the vision for our organizations and for retailers is to help our customers build these uniform data capabilities, to be able to ingest different sources of information from various functional silos, whether you're talking about the customer data or the point of sale data or transactions or supply chain, store vision data, and so on and so forth, to really then consolidate this and build a model on top of which then you can run multiple use cases, as you see, whether it is loss prevention, whether it is sentiment analysis, any other optimization, demand forecasting, and so on and so forth. Moving on to the modern store strategy, and I think store transformation in our view is not a one-off activity. It is really a multi-step journey, and we look at it from three different steps. First and the foremost is building really the foundational capabilities or connectivity in the store. So how do you really build a connected store? And that sort of depends on having your cloud infrastructure, your capabilities, your collaboration, your communication, and so on and so forth, and connectivity. Once you have built the foundational technology layers, then it is about building the intelligence layer and building the data capabilities within the store environment to create that level of intelligence and analytics. Only when you have those connectivity and intelligence layers, then you can begin to automate the store operations and complete that trilogy to drive your modern store strategy. Now, there are multiple use cases as part of the modern store strategy, but to simplify the engagement, we have clustered into 5 innovation hotspots that we are beginning to see with our retailers. Starting from the work which is happening in personalization, in product discovery, and giving localized offers to shoppers as they get onto their platforms. Enabling store associates productivity, collaboration, and improving their ability to provide those experiences and engagements for shoppers becomes the key. Again, it's a very, very big area of innovation. I think the third big area of innovation that I will bring to you is the area around last mile fulfillment and replenishment optimization. And this is where we see a lot of work happening for modern store strategy, apart from the work which is now happening on transactions and checkouts. And this is truly to be able to enable the shoppers to have that seamless multi-channel transactional experiences, and so that they can buy from anywhere. And of course, at the bottom of all this stuff is the foundational capabilities on store infrastructure, application modernization, which is another big area of innovation that we see, not always at the forefront, but extremely, extremely important if you were to do your transformation strategy for your physical stores. This is just a great visual to give you an example of multiple use cases that you can run across these 5 innovation hotspots in an example of a hypermarket, which is being shown here, right from last mile to vision AI, to recommendation engines, to assisted order picking, to really different levels of process automation, managing in-store applications using Anthos, and so on and so forth. I think last, but a very, very fundamental pillar of building a unified shopping experience is truly to build a sustainable and efficient operations in your ecosystem. And this has multiple connotations. You could look at building a strong communication and collaboration networks, contact centers, your workforce collaboration capabilities, your basic infrastructure like your SAP, application modernization, virtual VM migration, and so on and so forth. But I think the key here is building a resilient supply chain. And I'll give you a few examples of how we look at building a resilient supply chain. I think the key in this one is also, again, like I talked about the data platform, is to really connect the dots between your operational intelligence and your network and data sources to be able to build a consistent real-time events ledger, or you can call it supply chain digital twin, basis which then you can run multiple use cases like demand forecasting, procurement AI, last mile shipment, returns AI, and so on and so forth. To simplify this a little further, if you were to look at this from a supply chain, complete value chain perspective, from demand planning, inventory management, to supplier management, order orchestration, and post-order fulfillment, you will see multiple areas of offers and use cases on the visual here that we bring to the table to be able to help you build that integrated shopping experience from an operational perspective. And this, of course, is built on a very strong core technology foundation from a cloud infrastructure, compute storage, a strong, very, very strong and efficient data and analytics AI ML foundation around Vertex AI and other services. And of course, there are various operational tools, as you see here, that we bring to the table to stitch together these use cases across your value chain. So truly, to summarize, I think you could really power your complete value chain, your whole retail ecosystem, along with Google, and we can really help you leverage technology to drive innovation across this ecosystem. As you can see, right from warehousing, distribution, supply chain, to pricing optimization, building e-commerce platforms, you're optimizing your inventories, your store modernization, driving various experiences for your customers, and so on and so forth. There are multiple ways that we can help and engage with you to accelerate this journey going forward, and all on top of the platforms and operational capabilities that we bring forward. So if you were to look at building these experiences, you can use multiple building blocks, as you are seeing on the screen, from our portfolio. Right from the platform capabilities to auto ML custom models around site, language, and data, to APIs and pre-trained models that we have built around some of these capabilities and AI. On top of that, finally, we've got very specific industry retail solutions which are topical to verticals, which you can then use and plug and play in your respective environments. So I think the question to you is, what is your innovation agenda? Where do you want to start? And you can start from any of these 4 areas that I just spoke about, whether to start from a data capabilities, or understanding your customer, or building your omnichannel platforms, improving your operational efficiencies, or really modernizing your store infrastructure. You should start with use cases which are the biggest value drivers for your ecosystem, for your organization, and build a use case transformation roadmap as you accelerate on this journey. And we from Google are there to help you in moving forward on the same. Many top retailers and technology partners are working with us in retail today. As you can see, right from different segments, specialty department stores, online pure play platforms, food, drug, mass retailers, big box, everything. I think there are multiple retailers today now which are preferring Google Cloud and the capabilities we bring across the Alphabet portfolio, along with the consortium of technology partners to really solve your problems in retail. So that's what I had to share today in this session on how we can really help you build a truly unified shopping experience. I hope this session was useful to you. I wish you all the very best in your respective digital transformation journeys, and I hope you will find the rest of the sessions useful as well. Thank you, and all the best.